Oil prices edged down today as fears of conflict between the United States and Iran eased, although the decline was checked by the planned signing of an initial U.S.-China trade deal this week, which could boost demand. Brent crude was down 13 cents at $64.85 per barrel. WTI was also down 9 cents at $58.95 a barrel. So what is the outlook on the oil market, and what will the geopolitical developments mean for the market and in turn for Nigeria? I'm being joined by the Chairman CEO International Energy Services Limited, Dr. Diran Fawibe. Hello, Dr. Fawibe. Thank you for joining us and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Chimeze.
Thank you. Now, the geopolitical tea leaf reading indicates a lot of uncertainty on the global oil market. Although the fears of conflict between the United States and Iran has eased, but there is still the issues of U.S.-China trade deal, the world's two biggest oil consumers. How do you view the oil market at this time?
Well, I think the uncertainty is getting lessened simply because the expectation of most people around the world that there will be a counter-attack between U.S. and Iran is not actually taking place. The uncertainty about the oil market used to arise when there is the expectation that the flow of oil in international market will be disrupted. As it happened, the reaction in the market had was just artificial, simply because people were not too sure. But as you have seen, there was no collateral disruption to the flow of oil during the 3-4 days when the tension was very high between, based on the threat between U.S. and Iran, and for certain reasons, because the tragedy that occurred, when the Ukrainian airline was shut down, actually dampened the urge for Iran to retaliate more than what they did by shooting down, by shooting the air base of U.S. So to that extent, the expectation that the price of oil will be disrupted further has not happened. And you see that the price of oil has actually slumped as a result of the tension dying down. And that may be the case for the next couple of weeks, except something drastic happened again that will heighten the tension. But for now, we can expect that the price of oil is not likely to go up, but on the other hand, it may actually come down based on certain market fundamentals.
Arabia's energy minister, in his reactions on Trump's actions in the Middle East, said today at the International Petroleum Technology Conference taking place in Diran, Saudi Arabia, that President Donald Trump can do whatever he wishes. How are you reading that statement as an oil expert?
Well, normally there will be a lot of expectations in terms of what will likely happen, but it's anybody's guess, as we know, as we see, because for Iran, obviously they are now doing a sort of damage control, not to the situation that occurred, and in that case they are no longer in a belligerent state to actually cause tension that will affect the price of oil drastically. Now, what will then be was what OPEC was trying to do before in terms of trying to ensure that the price of oil doesn't slump to the point that it will cause disruption to the revenue flow of OPEC member countries. And that was the whole basis of trying to reduce reduction, to have price production reduction or cut back in production, because member countries are now trying to adhere to the quota which was agreed during the last conference. Of course, you can expect that if there is going to be any major problem as regards price slumping, falling beyond a certain level, OPEC will likely call emergency meeting to re-examine the situation and take appropriate measures. But so far, so good, especially between Russia and Saudi Arabia. the partners that have been working together to ensure stability in the price of oil and taking other OPEC member countries along the line.
OPEC and its production cut deal. What do you think, what would be the implication of this for OPEC's production cut deal?
Now, you can expect, currently, 5 countries will maintain the quotas agreed during the last conference, as I said, and then if there's going to be any reduction, if there's going to be any slide beyond certain level, based on the production that member countries, OPEC will likely meet further production cover. But there's general understanding that production to any slide in the price of oil. And like I said before, Saudi Arabia and Russia, they were discussing regularly to ensure that the price of oil does not go beyond certain level. Although we know the interests of various countries in terms of maintaining certain level of revenue. Like, for example, Russia wants to maintain certain level of revenue for their own economic needs, just like Saudi Arabia does. And member countries will normally tag along, because as it has turned out to be in the last couple of years, Saudi Arabia and Iran and Russia seems to be the partner that take the lead in what OPEC generally tends to agree, because they are large producers of oil in the international market, and to that extent, they can swing crude to cause depression or to cause market tightness. So that is why they are working closely together. Of course, they take member countries into confidence in some of the things they are doing, but so far so good for the level of production as well as the prevailing market price.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Fawibe.